Good evening, magical lovelies, or should I say early good morning. It is currently 12:50 here, and I was just watching a video that gave me a thought. I admit I'm a couple of cups in to some of that fizzly adult drink, so I'm feeling pretty good, but I thought it was a good topic to bring up. I know a lot of us are feeling FOMO and wanting to get a jump start on our gardening. And, we're thinking about lights and garden setup and starting seeds and everything. Well, I just wanted to bring up as a disabled person, okay, so when you do seedlings inside and you want to transition them to outside, now you have to consider the weight of your tray and taking them in and out every day. So, okay, you can go ahead and start your tomato seedlings and your eggplants and whatever now. But if you are more than 6 weeks before your last frost date, every time you up pot, you're adding weight to where you now have to carry them from your greenhouse or your grow room or whatever outside for a couple hours a day, gradually lengthening that time so that your plants can gain sunscreen. Now, if you have fibromyalgia or whatever, where you're limited to how much weight, how much bending, how much lifting, how much carrying, and that kind of thing that you can do, you may want to consider direct sowing because those plants are already going to be temperature ready. Like, as soon as you know that you don't have to worry about any deep frosts, I feel that for most things, you can start growing direct outside and they are going to sprout already with temperature control and their built-in sunscreen. Whereas if you're starting them in a greenhouse or inside your kitchen under a window or in a cupboard with green light, grow lights or whatever, they don't have that built-in sunscreen. So it's a slow adjustment or transition to outside, which means you're constantly carrying your plants in and out, which means you're adding weight every time because you want to water them before you put them outside, especially if it's a warm day and they're in those shallow 1 inch by 1 inch by 80 cell 10 by whatever trays or whatever. It becomes more of a gamble as opposed to direct sowing a lot of things that can be direct sown. So just something to consider. Like I said, it's almost 1 o'clock in the morning. I've had a few cups and I was just watching a video that a lot of people don't consider this when you are starting plants inside under grow lights. And this is why so many beginner gardeners have failures, is because they're rushing that transition between um, their seedlings indoors and getting them out in the garden. A lot of the time, they don't have time to harden off. And if you don't harden off their plants, you're either going to get dampening or sun scorch or sunburn, and they're just not going to grow because they don't have any time to adjust coming from inside to outside conditions. Also, another thing, if you're growing indoors, you want to make sure that you always have a fan on your plants to give them some strength, because otherwise, the first time a wind or a rain comes outside, they're going to crush your plants. So these are just a few things that this particular video made me think about that I thought I would give a mention because it's important. A lot of you are new growers. I'm a new grower, and we don't think of these things. We're just like, yeah, get those seeds in the dirt. It's almost spring. Yay, right? And that's good and that's great, but this is why so many people that get into growing don't continue it because they experience so many failures that are very easily wiped out by just taking the time to transition things properly or grow things in the right condition. But so for those of us that are starting our pepper seeds and our tomato seeds and whatever, just remember that there is a hardening off period and it's important. You can't just take your seedlings and drop them outside and expect them to survive. So I guess that's our daily announcement. And I hope you all have, well, I guess as we're approaching the weekend, I guess you all have a safe weekend. And as always, be blessed, be safe, and be kind. And don't forget, be the change you want to see in others. Until next time, my friends.